So, hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve a problem of the GFG, that is a delete node with greater on right. So let's first read the problem. Given a singly linked list, remove all the nodes that have a node with a greater value anywhere to their right in the list. Return the head of the modified linked list, right? So here you can see the first example that we are given this particular list and this is my final answer, right? So basically what question says that if you are having a node and there is another node to the right of it with a value greater than the previous node, then you must remove that previous node, right? Means here is a 12 and there is a 15, right? So 15 is like greater than 12 and it is a right to the 12, means it is located at the right hand side, right? So you must remove this 12 from your final list, right? Now here you can see the 15. So now 15, like why it is color green, means it is the part of your answer, right? So why it is colored green? So there is no other node with a value greater than 15 to the right of it. So that is why 15 is considered in my final answer. Similarly 10, so immediate to the 10 there is a 11 which is greater, so 10 is like removed. Again 11 there is no, so 11 is considered. 5, 6 and I hope this is now question is clear to you, right? So first approach is a brute force approach, right? So what we will do here, we will basically store all these nodes in our vector. So well, we will create a vector of nodes pointer, right? So this is not a value here, instead we are like storing the vector inside the array. So now what can we do here is we will maintain the two like pointers, one is previous and this is a current, right? So initially you can set the previous to the -1 and current is like at index 0. So now you will compare previous and current. So now what you will do is, see, initially nothing to compare, right? So what I'll do, I'll simply move this particular current one step forward and I'll put a previous over here. So now I can see that there is a valid value for a current and for a previous, right? So now what I'll do, I'll compare. So I can see that 15 is like greater than 12, right? And I don't want this. Previous should be greater and current should be less, but here it is exactly opposite. So what I'll do, I must remove this 12 from my final answer, right? So I'll simply drop this 12, or you can put null value over this particular index, right? So what I'll do, I'll simply drop the value, or you can like put a null over it, and you can simply move your previous one step backward, right? But since here it is at 0, so moving backward will like you are moving to -1, which is not a valid index. So again, no problem, you will like go to the -1, right? So now again you will compare your current with the previous, but there is no valid value for the previous, right? So you will like, no, you will not compare it. So now your current is like 15 and your previous is like nothing. So now what you will do, you will say simply again move your current and you will like move your previous to the current pointer, right? So yeah, like previous is equal to current and current is equal to current plus 1, something like that. So now I'll again compare my current with the previous. So current is like 10 and previous is like 15, right? So 10 is less and 15 is more, and that's I want, because right hand side the value should be less from the current pointer, right? So here it is less, so no problem. What I'll do, I'll simply move current one step forward and simply previous also, right? So previous is like taking the place of current and current is like moving to the next. So again I'll check same thing. So now current is like greater and previous is smaller, so I don't want this. So what I'll do, I'll move previous one step back and I'll like keep current at its own position, right? I'll not change it. And now what I'll do, after like before moving this previous, means one step back, you will drop this 10, because now you know that this 10 will no longer be the part of your final answer. So you will drop this particular 10 and you will move your previous one step backward. Now I'll compare this previous to the current. What if this previous is again smaller than current? Means you are again having some smaller value to the left hand side. So that will not be the valid case. So what you can do here is you can compare your previous and current. So here it is valid because previous is like greater and current is smaller. So you will not you will not drop the value, right? So once you are like clear that my previous value is like okay, so you will now not move your previous further backward. Why? Because you are already means like comparing from the left only, right? So if here value is 15, so obviously all the value to this previous means right now there is nothing to the previous of this particular previous. But even if there is means if you would have any value to this previous, then you there is no meaning, there is no point to compare, right? So you will like simply means you'll break your means further moving to the backward, right? So now next step is your you will move your current forward and you will like move your previous again to the means will take the position of this current position and simply you will compare it, right? Then finally you will observe that you will like drop this value and you will like drop this particular value, right? So at the end you will end up with this particular array, right? You will end up this with this particular array, right? And this particular array is nothing but your answer only. This array is nothing but your answer. You can see that over here that 15, 11, 6 and 3. So this is your answer, right? So now you can loop means after means finally applying this like dropping operations, you can finally loop through this array and you can like set the link, right? That I hope you know how can you like finally set the link. So yeah, this is how we can solve the problem. Now here the problem is time complexity wise there is no issue. Means yeah, you are solving this question in a like big O of n, right? Because you only need one loop to solve this particular problem using this brute force approach. But the problem is like you are making use of extra array. You need an extra array in order to store all these particular nodes, right? Why? Because like extra array is doing your work easy, means you can easily traverse backward if you need, right? But if you are like in this list, then you have no facility to move backward because you always move forward, right? Means linked list does not store any backward pointer. I'm talking about single linked list, right? So this approach is like okay, this will work even if you try to means submit your code using this approach, so it will absolutely work. But right, so in the brute force approach we had solved the problem means in a big O of n space complexity and time complexity was big O of n, right? So now we will like optimize it, means we will optimize the space complexity, right? So we will try to like make the space constant, means we will not use any extra like array that we were using in the brute force approach. So in this approach again, so over here again I'll keep the previous and current pointer. So what I'll do basically initially like this is like initially you can like skip this part for time being, and you can see here previous is like initially null, so this loop will not execute. So I'll simply do the current text is equal to previous. Current text is equal to previous means from here only I am reversing the list. From here only I am reversing the list, right? So initially since there is nothing previous to the 12, so like 12 now 12's next will become null, right? So it will be something like this. You are like removing this association between 12 and 15, and now 12 will like pointing to something null. So let me do something like this. So this is a null and 12 is like pointing to this null. So okay, so now it will look something like this after like executing this line. Now this is like referencing to this particular thing. So yes, again wait a minute. Yeah, so now it is something okay, there is nothing problem. What's the problem? Okay, so now 12 is like pointing to the null and this is my list, right? So after like processing the first this line, so it will be something like this, right? So now your previous will take the place of current and current will like move to the next, right? And that is why I have like kept this next, so it would help you to move next to this current node. So now I am over here and my previous is here. Now I'll again compare this 15 to the 12, right? So 15 is like greater and 12 is like smaller, right? So what you will do, so initially you were having indexes, right? So you can like traverse over the index, it was easy for you. So now I hope you understand the importance of why I am doing reversing, right? Means why I am reversing this particular list. So I can now simply like move my previous one step backward, right? because I have now reversed it. So I can like move it one step backward. So it is like over null, right? Previous is like now get null. So again, when previous will get null, so it will be like come out of this loop. And now what I'll do this, I'll set this current next to the previous, right? Means there is nothing to compare, right? And I know that this 12 will no longer be part of my answer. So what I can do, I can remove like simply this 12 from here, and I can extend this line, and yes. So I'll my 15 now will 15's next is like now null, right? And this association will no longer exist. So I'll simply remove this association, and I already stored this next pointer, means previous current next was already stored in this next, so you don't need to worry about it. So yeah, after executing this, and then what I'll do, I'll simply like take the put over here previous, and like change the position of current over here, right? So yeah, after means executing these three lines, your array will look something like this. So again, now what you will do, again you compare this current with the previous, right? So now current is like smaller and previous is like greater. So now this condition will be false, and again you will come out of the loop. And what you will do, like you will set this current next would be like to the your 15, right? And so what I can do is I can simply draw an arrow, okay, something like this. What's the problem? Okay, so your arrow is something like this, and this is your uh, this is how your list would look like, right? So then after again you will like move your current pointer to the next, and previous will take the place of current, and again you will compare your current with the previous. So again your current is like greater and previous is small, right? So now this condition is like satisfied. So what you will do, you'll move your previous to one step backward, and now once you move your previous one step backward, you will like you are ignoring this particular node, means you are getting rid of this node, right? Means you this node will no longer be a part of your answer, right? So again, since now you have moved your previous one step back, so again you will compare your current with previous. So now you can observe that this previous is 15 and current is like 11, so 15 is not less than 11. So again it will come out of loop, and what you will basically do is now you will like remove this node, and current next means this current next, so you will be like removing this also, and again this, and finally I'll extend simply this line over here, right? So now your after processing means after executing these lines, your array your list will look something like this. So now after like looping through this while loop until your current gets null, your list would look like this, right? But this is not your answer, right? Because this list is in reversed form, right? So what you will do, you will simply reverse this list. So finally you will get this particular list, and simply you can return the head of this list, right? So I hope this solution is like pretty easy. You would just need here to reverse the linked list, right? Initially you were using array means to traverse backward, but now instead of like using array, since we want to solve this question in a constant time space complexity, so you would like reverse the list, right? Means you should have some way to move backward, right? Initially like you was having a previous, and you was moving your previous to the backward position, but here you are having a list. So in list, how can you move something to the backward, right? You can only move to the next. So in order to move backward, you are doing like this, right? But then after, once you process, means once you are end with this loop, and then after you can finally reverse your string. So this is nothing but your answer. So I hope this solution is like now you are able to understand this particular solution. And if you are still having any doubt, feel free to ask me in the comment below. I would definitely try my best to solve your doubt. And if you are new to my channel, I would encourage you to hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell icon. Thank you.